with their inconsistency that they're not closer to Liverpool, doesn't it? The heights they've hit today.
I'm not so sure. I think Pep is one of the best managers we've ever seen. But I think if Liverpool didn't have Van Dijk, which is Laporte, and didn't have Mane, which is Sane, they'd be a different team too. Pep is one of the best, we know that. But they've had too many injuries and not replaced with Company, not being replaced, and then the Laporte injury, Sane, one, Fernandinho not in midfield. There's too many issues, even for one of the greatest managers we've ever seen. That's the only reason they are where they are. Goal-scoring wise, they're still right there. Just defensively, and again, Liverpool would look different if they didn't have, Van Dijk and Fabinho and Mane on the side. So I think it's down to that. But credit Liverpool. They've been absolutely unbelievable. One of the best teams we've ever seen. But City, when they play like that, that's why they are what they are. One of the best teams we've ever seen in this league.
I agree. When you let someone like Company leave, or not let him leave, but when he leaves, you got to replace him. So you got to replace him with leadership, quality. They didn't do that, really. And then Laporte got injured. And then, basically the security that gives everybody else the right to go and play and express himself has gone in a swift move there. And you can argue that Otamendi is an okay player, but he's not a Company. He's not a Laporte. And they've been struggling in games defensively. They have been. And that's why they are this far behind Liverpool. But with this display today, the display against Manchester United midweek, and some of their recent displays, the one against Leicester as well, you kind of think that they can go on and win the rest of their games, and that will take them to 95.
Really? You think?
Well, who's going to beat them? The way they play today. And
they got Laporte coming back, and they got Sane coming back. Do they sign someone as well? You look at
the bench. So if you go through the substitutions,
300 million on the bench.
Bernardo Silva and Sterling were there.
Yeah, you take Bernardo. Yeah, you take someone up. Gundogan comes on.
Kyle Walker.
It's just Kyle Walker's on the. Kyle Walker has been one of the best City players. He's had a fantastic season. He's on the bench. Sterling's on the bench, and you have to ask yourself the question: on this level of performance, who can beat Man City? Who can? So yeah, and they've what is it? 16 games left. Last season it was 14 wins. And had the game been another two games longer, or the season's been another 2 games longer, they would have won them as well. So you can see them winning the rest of their games. Liverpool are 61 points, got the same number, actually one more game left, so they can, of course, on their current run, extend to plus 100 or 100 plus, which, I think they have to go with on this form. But, what City did today was just fantastic.
And you've trained with him, you've seen him close up. How good is he?
Yeah, he's special. And I think the one thing you used to realise about Sergio, when you got the ball into him, in and around the box, the way he just shifted the ball with his low centre of gravity, you couldn't get anywhere near him. By the time he got it at his feet and shot, the ball was already in the net. Defenders hadn't even really adjusted to the first move. That's how sharp he was. And we saw it, I think, on the last goal where he smashed into the roof of the net. It happens so quick. And he gets it at his feet and he shimmies almost, and he shoots almost all in the same time. And because the centre-backs are 6'2", 6'3", nobody can get near him. We think about the goal, that iconic one against QPR. That's Sergio. He always takes a touch. He's on the move and he shoots. And he does it as good as anyone. In tight spaces, with these guys, with David Silva and De Bruyne and Mahrez, the service that he gets, he's just in the perfect team. That's probably why he stayed 9 years, because the service that he gets allows him to get a lot of these goals. And the way Pep plays suits him perfectly.
Yeah, Pep doesn't really like him.
Maybe doesn't like him off the ball.
No, it's amazing because he's not come out saying it, but he's been trying to replace him, hasn't he? So he's not played him from the beginning of the season, giving somebody else like Jesus an opportunity. And yet he comes back, he bounces back, and he fits into the way that Pep wants to play. And if you look at the way he plays from a goalkeeper's perspective, what we do is we always try to read the picture, what that's developing, and then we take our position and put the balance of weight on what's going to happen next. But with him, you have no idea. You can't read him. We saw that in the third goal today. The back lift, it's nothing. He actually kicks it in what you would expect the wrong moment. the first goal he scored where he takes one touch, then the next. It just all the time challenges you on your position, on your balance. And it's just, I mean, my God, what a player he is. And I'm surprised he's been here 9 years. 9 years already.
And we just saw him at his clinical best with his 12th Premier League hat-trick to go above Alan Shearer and grab the match ball today.
Yeah, amazing numbers for him. Do you think about what Alan Shearer achieved in this league? Greatest score ever.
Am I going to put the ball? Because I can't, the goalkeeper's static. And that's well, more often than not, it's what makes you save the ball, that you've put that little bit of doubt into the striker's mind. But with him, it just absolutely smashes the ball through him.
So his top overseas scorer, as you saw there, has gone ahead of Thierry Henry. Interestingly, 7 of his 12 hat-tricks have come under Pep Guardiola. Has Pep Guardiola even taken him a little bit to another level?
I think Pep wanted him to work more off the ball. And I think when Gabriel Jesus came in, he gave Manchester City there. I remember when they played with Sterling and Jesus and Sané, and they ripped teams to shreds with their, they were really young and exciting and they pressed. Sergio's never really done that and never had to do that. I think Sergio's adjusted. And I think actually Pep has adjusted to the fact that, like Company, he wasn't a first choice under Pep. He's almost irreplaceable to the City team. If you want to get to the heights that they want to win the Champions League, Sergio has to start in one of those games. Vincent Kompany earned the right to start. And with that crucial goal, you realise how important he was to the team. And I think Pep, fair play to Pep and to Sergio, they've adjusted to each other. And I think that's what the great ones do.
But I think in Pep's time, you can argue that he's added better players that suits his style better, because he's a goal poacher, isn't he? He get the ball in the box, he will score more often than not. So you got players like Kevin De Bruyne. I mean, we talk about Aguero at the moment, but we could talk about him as man of the match for what he did in the period that he was on. You got Mahrez today, he scored 2, but the way he provides as well. You got David Silva there. I mean, he has got players who can actually play him into his strength. And I agree, he's adjusted. We haven't seen him score many goals from outside the box, but he's done that. He did that last season against Leicester. He's done it today. Yeah, I mean, he is just incredible. He won't get to Alan Shearer though in the tally. What is that? 270 he scored.
260.
260. So he's about 90 or 80 back. I don't think he'll get to that.
You didn't go to maths when you were training, did you? We'll come back to those numbers in a moment. Well, he's managed him brilliantly, and there are the numbers that Peter was alluding to. 260 for Alan Shearer, 208 for Wayne Rooney, 187 for Andy Cole, and Sergio Aguero level now with Frank Lampard on 177 Premier League goals. You don't think he'll catch Mr. Shearer? Do you think he'll get into second?
Yeah, definitely. He'll definitely be second. And to be fair, we were just talking off air, Alan Shearer's the greatest ever striker in the Premier League. After that, you got some unbelievable. Wayne Rooney, Thierry Henry, Sergio Aguero, Schmeichel Owen, Robbie Fowler, some unbelievable names on there. To even be in that conversation at his relatively young age, Sergio Aguero, just shows you what an asset he's been to this Premier League. And to be fair, the great thing about Sergio is every day in training, he always had a smile on his face. I never, ever heard him moan or complain about anything, even though he's from Argentina. The weather probably didn't suit him at times, but that's probably why I stayed this long, because he had great teammates around him. The club looked after him. He scored those goals, and he's a joy to be around. And Pep said that.
I think he's well paid as well.
Oh, no, yeah, for sure. But he would have got well paid at Barca and Real and anywhere. This long, for 9 years, just shows you what a brilliant project Manchester City have built, because to keep him through his prime has been outstanding.
Well, Pep says that, doesn't he? He says he loves to play football, and that's what they do. They play football. And if you can play like that, what they've done today, and you kind of imagine this is happening in training as well, it's a joy. Training is a joy. At the end of the day, football is all about having fun. But when it gets to this top level of football, many times, all the fun's been taken out of it, because it's, you have to do this tactically or that, and we work every day on certain things, and if the players around you aren't good, and you really have to work hard on something that's not working, it's not fun. But I can imagine that they every day playing the short games, the long games, the pressure games. It's fun because they can play, and for him, it looks like someone who needs it to be fun.
He feels that Villa helped City along the way in that first half. Has he got a point, or is he just being a bit too hard on his players?
I don't think he's got a point on that. So they play fantastic today. There's no doubt about that. And when they're in that mood, and they will find the little pockets of space. We had a move in the second half where the one-touch football was just incredible, but everything was in such a tiny bit of space. You got the problems you have. So you got a young goalkeeper who's playing his first game in the Premier League. You haven't got your striker. You got Danny Drinkwater making his debut. He's just arrived yesterday. So there's a lot of sort of unrest in the squad, not precisely knowing what kind of level they can perform at. And City just took, the best game to them today. And I honestly don't think that any team today could have done much against that. I don't think so.
I thought the one thing I thought he said we didn't lay a glove on them. And you heard Chrissy Wilder, he says that sometimes Sheffield United when they don't play well. And in that sense, maybe he's a bit right. They when the team's better than you've got to be a bit physical and be aggressive. They want that. I agree with City, we're absolutely at their absolute best. And when they play, they'll destroy you. But when a team's better than you, the only way you can affect them is to be physical, be aggressive. They weren't that. So when they got in those pockets of spaces, they were just too late always. And at times, if they would have been more physical, they might have had not even a tenth of a chance, but 100th of a chance. But today, credit City, they were amazing.
Just to pick up on your piece, they're the fourth youngest average age of any team in the Premier League this season, Villa, today. And
this is where the challenge is for the manager now, is that this is not going to... They're not going to bring this game. They cannot bring this game into the next couple of games.
Well, let's look at the next couple of games.
The next couple of games...
They are crucial when you look, again, we're talking about Bournemouth earlier on, teams around them that they've got to play at.
I think the big damage today is the goal difference. I don't think the defeat in itself is that was kind of expected.
Right,
these are the next couple. So you see there, you got Brighton there, you got Watford, you got Bournemouth. They're three teams that if you win two of them, you're out of the bottom three, and you put a little bit of distance to the bottom three. So
I don't see them beating Brighton away, though. Brighton play beautiful football.
Probably not. But what he has to do now, Dean Smith, is to make sure that his players can erase this game from their minds. They played a fantastic game against Leicester on Wednesday. Pick on the positives from that, and then just accept that today we got turned over by a team which is probably the best team in the world when they play like that. And this is what happens when you play against the best.
The bigger question they have is they've spent 100 million in the summer. With the position that they're in, do they spend again? Because the
injuries you talked about.
That's what I mean. So you got Wesley and you got McGinn, some of the most influential players.
We saw Pepperoni in the stands.
Well,
so
obviously, that won't cost much. He's on loan from AC Milan. But the point is, if they feel like they might actually could go down, do the owners want to invest another 40, 50 million in case, they might not get that back? So it's a difficult, really, one for them, because I think they're in the difficult position. They don't have the depth that the big teams have, even though they've spent like one of the big teams. And now missing those guys is just super unlucky, because I thought McGinn was outstanding. Wesley was finding his form. So
it's a difficult one, that one, because... for a club like Aston Villa, I mean, you can spend as much as you like, but where are you going to go and get the quality in January? Where are you going to go and get someone who'll score you 10 goals or 12 goals?
Well, they need a centre-forward.
Yeah, but where are you going to get that player from? Because everybody wants goals. Everybody are looking at it now and thinking, we need goals. So everyone will be competing for the guys who can score goals. So
Batshuayi, they got Batshuayi, Giroud there at Chelsea. Try and find a way. Those guys have scored goals. Put a cheeky offer in. I mean, I think Palace just signed Cenk Tosun, didn't they? You got to make a move if you're in a position like they are. I think they need a number 9.
And if they don't get... Do you really fear for Villa in this scrap at the moment?
I have to go back to Wednesday night. They played really well on Wednesday night. They did. And if they can find those kind of performances in some of the next games, I don't think it's a done deal for them. Today, it's something they need to forget. It happens in football. You get turned over, you make mistakes or whatever it is, but the real art in being a top professional footballer is how you recover. And that's where the manager, he has to be really, really good. You got John Terry in there as well, who's been in that position and can help these players. And I'm looking at Bournemouth today, and I'm comparing. Aston Villa is a much better team.
Yeah.
They are. So win one or two of the next... And give yourself a little bit of breathing space, and there's a chance.
Not as optimistic just because of the injuries and the form. But I think with Dean Smith and as positive he is, I think they can find a way out, but they need to find something they can hang their hats on. With the injuries that they have, it's tough.
OK, gentlemen, thank you very much, Steve, for your